We're live now.
Thank you very much. All right, Commissioner Jackson, would you like me to go ahead and do a roll call?
Yes, sir.
All right. Commissioner Jackson,
Here.
Commissioner Gage Watts.
She's down there.
I see her. I just didn't hear her. Thank you very much. Commissioner Epperson.
Here.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Talaferro is absent and Commissioner Johnson is absent today. You have 3 of 5 committee members present. That is a quorum. Also, Commissioner Atkins, who is not a committee member, but he is on the meeting today.
Thank you. Thank you for having for making that notice. I will lead us in a quick word of prayer, and I'd ask if Commissioner Epperson, if he doesn't mind, leading us in our Pledge of Allegiance. If we all would bow our heads and let's clear our hearts and minds and go to God in prayer. Well, gracious Father, we come here today to say thank you for giving us another day to do your work. We thank you for life, for health, and for strength. Lord, we thank you for sparing our state, and we thank you for the many first responders who are out doing your work, saving lives, touching people, feeding people, volunteering in whatever capacity that they may be. Lord, we ask that you put your hedge of protection and comfort those families who have literally lost everything in these storms, and then those who are suffering in this pandemic. God, we know that our judgment day is coming, and you would want us to know that we would have to be right when you come back. And so, God, we ask that you please give us the guidance and wisdom to do your will and not our own will. These are many other blessings we ask. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay. If we would all, I would ask that military and veterans would render the standard traditional salute. All others right hand across your heart. And I will repeat the pledge. I will do the pledge solo. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Epperson. Thank you, and thank everybody for being with us today. Mr. Clerk, what's next for us?
Next, we've got agenda additions. I'm not aware of any agenda additions for today, unless you have any.
No, sir, I do not have it.
All right, that brings us to public comments, where citizens who wish to address the commission are asked to fill out a comment card. They can do so online prior to the meeting, or they are welcome to call in at this time in the meeting. Would you let me go ahead and give that phone number they could call in?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, that phone number is 318-226-6596. Again, that's 318-226-6596 if somebody would like to make a public comment. We did receive one comment. It's actually from a committee member who was unable to attend today, but he did submit a comment to be delivered during this time. If you'd like, I could go ahead and read that.
Sure.
Okay. 1 second. This is from Commissioner Talaferro, who writes regarding pandemic committee statement. My challenge to the committee in appropriating money for education about COVID is that we not merely focus on getting the vaccine or masking or social distancing, but in alternative early treatments, in addition to vitamin supplementation and lifestyle changes. There's plenty of information on home treatments we can administer to ourselves when symptoms first are noticed, and we cannot be charged with education if we only push one agenda item, getting vaccinated. And taking this narrow approach, we are doing a disservice to our public who often rely on us, as Commissioner Epperson has said many times, to provide them with all of the information on both sides of the equation, empowering them to make the choice for themselves and their families. That completes his statement. And Linda, I don't have any calls on the line. Do you have any calls that, or did I miss any?
There are no callers.
Thank you very much. Would you like to move on, Commissioner Jackson?
Yes, sir. And before we move on, well, yeah, let's just move on.
Okay. That brings us to new business, where the first item, you've got your certificate of teleconference attached. No action is required. It's just there to be in compliance. And the next item is going to be discussing COVID-19 matters. You have a couple of sub bullet points on that item, including Bring Back Louisiana, FEMA reimbursement update, and testing and vaccinations.
Okay, I saw Daryl Joy was on. She just texted me and said she'll be right back. She was representing the state with the Bring Back Louisiana, but we can go. Commissioner Epperson, I see your hand.
Yes, sir. We on the first item on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just wanted to bring to the discussion about announcing any cases of COVID that have been contracted by any of our employees, as well as any of the departments that we interact in as far as carrying out our governmental duties on behalf of the citizens of Caddo Parish. Not saying you got to violate HIPAA. You don't call nobody's names. But just for instance, if you say animal services and mosquito control, 2 individuals contracted COVID on such and such a date, they are now quarantined. The Caddo Parish District Courts, 3 individuals contracted COVID, they are now on quarantine. The Registrar of Voters Office, 1 individual contracted COVID, they are now quarantined. And I think it is only fair, and I think it is right that we publicize that in that manner, whereas we can make decisions as to where we go and whom we associate with. And there are other agencies, other organizations that does that. The nursing homes call twice a week, stating the COVID cases that they have, whether it be for the residents, the employees, in the associations. I know the VA hospital posts it, and other entities post it. And I think it's only fair, and I think it's right, and I don't think it would be a violation of anybody's rights. Just a matter of putting out factual information, because this isn't over yet, and giving anybody any false interpretations that everything is just fine and hunky-dory. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Everton, did you want us to take any kind of action on that, or did you want to just open it up for discussion right now?
Well, I would, I should ask to reserve the right. I think we could make a motion that the administration, that we recommend this to the body, and the administration would implement that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If that's a motion, I will second that motion. And Dr. Wilson, did you have anything to add to that?
No, sir. I've already asked HR to take a look at how we would put together that data and already. So I think Ms. Cheryl's working on putting together some kind of template of some sort for us, and contacting our users, only parish users, facilities. And so that's the only realm of responsibility that we would have in this matter. So I've already asked for that for her to take a look at that, and then once she let me know how she would collect that data, because she has been the epicenter of collecting the data for us anyway.
Well, I would ask y'all to reach out to the school board as well. I believe they are reporting out publicly, kind of, and I agree what Commissioner Epperson is saying. Is it simply just he's more concerned about numbers, reporting numbers. I think we've been on that statewide call that the governor has with the Unified Command Group, where they literally go through every state agency. Epperson, they literally go every state agency, wildlife and fisheries, Department of Revenue. I mean, literally every agency in the state. And the first thing that they report out is, Governor, we got 10 people who tested positive, and they're in quarantine, and they call that out, don't they, Dr. Wilson, before they start their detailed report?
Yeah, that's correct.
And so I think that's kind of what he's talking about, is just kind of having looking at it from a numbers perspective and not necessarily a name perspective. So that should be fairly easy. That shouldn't be controversial. And I definitely can see that as a just safety preventive method as well. And it's not, embarrassing anybody, anything, or inciting anything. So,
Yes, sir.
do you know how soon we can get that, Dr. Wilson?
I'll ask Cheryl. She's in another administrative matter right now, so she's not on the line with us.
Okay.
Because we had a conflict, but I'll get back with you and let you know.
Commissioner, do you want to?
And at the very least, I can I'll include that in my update that we do on the administrative report.
Is that good with you, Commissioner Epperson?
10-4.
Okay. All right, Mr. Clerk, that was a motion to task administration with developing a plan for numbers reporting across the parish for positive COVID-19 cases.
Right. I think I've got it. And are we ready to take vote?
I believe so.
All right. Commissioner Jackson
Yes.
and Commissioner Gage Watts
Yes.
and Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
All right. That motion carries with 3 in support and 2 absent.
Okay. I still don't see Daryl Joy has come back in, but I do want to go ahead. I see Dr. Kelville on and open the floor up to Dr. Kelville to talk about testing, community-wide testing. I understand that there's a massive effort going on with the K-12 organization. So, Doc, if you wanted to give us some information about that, or just where you all are with the EVT lab with regard to testing and vaccination local.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. So as you mentioned a moment ago, we have several things ongoing at the moment. And this week, we are launching the K through 12 testing in schools across Caddo Parish, parts of Natchitoches Parish, and Bossier Parish. For those of you that may not be familiar, we are working in conjunction with the Louisiana Department of Health to do surveillance testing for K through 12 schools that will allow us to try to identify kids or the spread of the virus coming in through kids attending school, to try to minimize the likelihood that this will be an excessive burden or shut down the schools and be an issue. So that's kicked off this week. We're already starting the tests as of yesterday and today. And so that's moving along nicely. The other thing I'll say is that the numbers of positives across our region when we're testing is still fairly high. As many of you know, if you look at the LDH website, you can see that our region still has quite a bit of COVID positivity. It's on the way down, but it's nowhere near what it was when we were in our lull. So it's important for us to still maintain our careful efforts with mask wearing, things of that nature, social distancing. We find that to be very important. Our testing in the nursing homes has continued to be fantastic and really keep the nursing homes, I should say, at a very low positivity rate, which is good because those are some of the most vulnerable people in our community. And then the last thing I'll say is that I think many of you know, we perform sequencing of the virus for this region and for a lot of Louisiana, again, in conjunction with the Louisiana Department of Health. And all that we're seeing is the Delta variant. That's been the case for essentially the past 3 to 4 weeks, but so far, really, it's just Delta and nothing that we've seen that looks anything different. So I'll stop there and answer any questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for all your work. I see Commissioner Epperson's hand for a question.
Chair, I just wanted to make a point of information that staff may share with our employees that may be veterans, any friends or neighbors that you may know. The VA hospital does drive-through testing Mondays through Fridays, 8:30 until 12. You don't have to get out of your vehicle. Just come through the main entrance and follow the signs. And everything is confidential, but it's free for veterans. So veterans can drive through and get tested how often as they choose that they need to. And within a couple of days, you get the results back confidentially.
Okay.
I just wanted to make that note. And also, I don't know if we are familiar with the Louisiana wallet.
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah, we do. We use it.
Okay, right. You can put your driver's license as well as your shot record on
Yes,
there, and it's in real time.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
That's all I had.
Okay. Dr. Kelvin,
Mhm.
you mentioned that our talking about our numbers and things like that. I'm just curious with Hurricane Ida coming through. I saw what LDH indicated that they would not be updating their numbers at the moment. Is that going to have an effect on how do you think that's going to kind of work out anything?
Yeah, no, I think that is a little bit of a blind spot for us. We've been in close communication with LDH. We're keeping track of the numbers here. And we're also, again, working with Dr. White's office. So for the shelters that are coming along, people coming into them, that we'll be able to flex and send any of our strike teams out there so that we can test for them. But I do anticipate, that'll be a challenge. The other thing that we're also preparing for, just I forgot to mention, is the third dose vaccine. Is just like Commissioner Epperson said, there are different places, the VA, where you can go get testing. I think there are going to be various locations where people who want to get the third dose can actually go ahead and do such. Certainly Chevyland will be one of those locations. But I think that's going to be important for people to be aware of, because this will be happening essentially at the same time we're trying to recover from the hurricane as well.
Yeah, and one of the things, Doc, I don't know if y'all have talked about this. One of the things I saw happen after we had this snowstorm and things kind of went offline, what happened was that we end up looking like the numbers were dipping, but what really happened was people stopped testing. Do y'all see that as being the case here, or?
That's not going to be the case here because we're still able to do testing. We're still able to keep up with the community and keep up nursing homes and K through 12. So we'll have that data and we will continue to feed that data to LDH. They just, I think, may be a little delayed in updating it. So we'll definitely, we're still rolling. All the engines are full steam. Great.
Because I don't want us to kind of get jumped for joy thinking that the numbers are dropping when in reality,
right.
Particularly in the New Orleans, East Baton Rouge, and those Gulf parishes have basically just come to a halt right now. Get things right. So is there any other questions for Dr. Kelvin and his team and what they are doing? Okay.
Thank you all for the continued support. We appreciate it greatly.
Thank you, Dr. Kelvin, and we'll definitely be reaching out as we have set aside some ARP funding for vaccine coordination to incentivize, educate. And before I let you go, Dr. Kelvin, the public comment that was made talking about home remedies, are those home remedies, do we know if some of these home remedies are approved, or I even heard the sort of Regeneron or whatever, are those FDA approved or?
So the Regeneron monoclonal antibody does have FDA EUA approval, and those are
an emergency authorization.
Correct. It does have emergency use authorization approval by the FDA. So that kind of monoclonal antibody therapy is very beneficial for certain individuals, in particular when they catch it early enough. That's the big piece of information that most people need to know, is that it works best when you're in the early parts of the illness.
Testing is important.
Testing is huge. Testing is essential. And again, we're open for testing and always testing. So if anybody has any questions, again, to echo what Commissioner Epperson said, the VA is for the veterans. We're for everybody else. So if they want to come on over, and we'll take the veterans too, if they can't get over into the VA, we'll take everybody. So again, the testing is there. It's free. You don't get charged for it. And it is confidential, and you get your results confidentially. So we're here to serve the community and appreciate everything y'all been doing.
And I'm not asking you to be a medical, what's the name here, but the home remedy stuff, have y'all did any?
All I can say to that, Commissioner, is that there's a lot of information out there anecdotally, and that some have actually done some clinical studies. The reality is I'm not aware of any of those that have been approved by the FDA for an EUA approval, but that's not to say that they won't in the future, or that they may not have most recently, but I'm not aware of any.
Okay, just wanted to, because we've been having folks distinguish that the Pfizer wasn't or Moderna wasn't FDA approved. Now one is FDA approved.
Yes.
And so now we have FDA full authorization. I was told that I have to make that distinction, that it is completely approved or full authorization.
Correct.
So
and we still here at LSU Health, in conjunction with Ochsner, are still doing multiple clinical trials to identify effective ways to treat this disease outside of vaccinations. I mean, vaccines do help tremendously, as we all know, but sometimes, once you get in the hospital, you may need a little extra care and attention. And so we're still actively pursuing many different clinical trials to address that.
gotcha. Okay, I appreciate it. Well, thank you, Dr. Kelvin, and thank you for your work. And thanks to everybody in the medical community for your work, for their work.
Thank you all.
Commissioner Jackson, I had a question for Dr. Kelvin.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Doc, I'm sorry.
Yeah, is the booster shot requirement is at 8-month point and now the 6-month point?
Right now it's looking like it's at the 8-month point, and I think there is some discussion to try to go shorter. But right now it's still at the 8-month point, and it's looking like mid to end of September is when that's going to be announced. So stay tuned, because we're going to definitely broadcast that to not only you all, but throughout the community when we're able to do the third dose injections.
Okay, unless you have some underlying health conditions, right? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you, Doc.
Bye-bye.
All right. Next up on our agenda is the FEMA reimbursement update.
Okay, yeah, we have Dr. Ward online, and he's been handling that for us. So Dr. Ward, would you kind of give us an update on where things are relative to the FEMA application, please?
Sure, Woody. I talked to our representative last week. There's been no progress made on our application. Of course, with the hurricane pending, our representatives out of the Baton Rouge area, and so they were preparing for Hurricane Ida. I don't know if they're going to be back working with on our COVID cases, or if they're going to be working on the new Ida cases or not. But at the end of the day, as for today, there's been no progress since the last time that we have made our submittal.
Okay, but they have acknowledged that we have submitted, right?
Yes, she did acknowledge she has seen it, but she hasn't created a project or has moved our application forward any.
Okay.
We're one of many that she deals with.
Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah. And Commissioner Jackson, we discussed assisting in whatever way we could with David Raines.
Mhm.
And we still stand ready to do that. I did talk to Mr. White, and I also made that point quite clear that if they need any assistance from us, they had to do some initial work, because it's like trying to open up a bank account for someone else's in their name.
Mhm.
So he understood that, and he has his finance director working on that. So tell him just let us know when he need our help, any guidance from us on the process, that we can aid him in that area.
I think the technical expertise will definitely help them out. We haven't highlighted them as much as we've highlighted LSU and Ochsner's, but they have done a great job. They're alongside right there doing testing and vaccination.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they were the first site that we used, agency that we use.
Correct. And there's a cost. A lot of people don't know that there's a cost associated with them sending those nurses out, and anybody sending nurses out. And so anything that we can do to help them, since President Biden has extended that order to reimburse for 100%.
Yes.
And nonprofits, and they are a nonprofit providing critical care. So they are eligible, and any technical assistance that we can offer them through the process, I think they would appreciate it.
Right. I think he's aware that we stand ready to assist where we could on that.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Next.
Next
is
next on the agenda, we've got rental assistance update.
Okay. Emergency rental assistance, who's out for that?
Yeah, I think you skip one, you skip the testing and vaccination.
Oh, okay, all right. Y'all
Okay.
have okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What you got on
Yeah.
that? I apologize.
Yeah, Commissioner Jackson, we've, as I stated before, we've already prepared a draft for that. And then we are kind of tweaking that. And it will be the administrator's action when we submit this, because, we haven't gotten any direction from the board yet to submit this whatsoever. So, but we feel that appropriate that we ought to have an infectious disease control policy, and we had drafted that.
Mhm.
So I think out of your committee, I think you all were going to recommend to the board that they ask us to put this together. But regardless, we've already put together a policy. We have it in draft form because we think that would be prudent for the organization to have that, which it encourages vaccination and testing in our policy.
Well, Dr.
Okay.
Wilson, the
Yes,
clerk
sir.
can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the motion to set this, to set that was, the motion was for you all to draft it and forward it to the board. It was a dual track process. Am I mistaken on that, Mr. Clerk?
I'll have to pull that up 1 second. Let me see if I can get that direct wording.
Yeah, but I believe the motion was that the administration would draft a policy, and then once you draft your policy, you would forward that policy to the full board for consideration, or you could bring it back to this. But I believe the motion was to draft it and send. I believe I was the maker of the motion, and to send it to the full body once y'all drafted it up.
Oh, okay. I was under the impression that the board was going to ask me for the policy, even though I have not gotten that request. We had went on and drafted anyway.
No, the last committee meeting we had, I know I made the motion to task administration with developing the policy.
Okay.
And then forwarding it to the full body.
So I'm sending it to the full body, to the policy committee of the commission. I guess one will lead to the other. That's what you're saying?
Either or. So
we're just trying to keep the process correct. We have the policy draft, as I said. So it makes me no matter which way we go, as long as we consistent in our practices. I think that's what we were trying to do.
Oh, well, you're preaching to the choir on that one then.
But we stand ready to submit the policy. We already have it drafted.
Yeah, well, I think this body had already kind of I don't know that we have to, and even if we have to go pull the video up, but I believe the motion was to draft the policy to forward to the body.
Okay. All right. Which I have no problem doing, but
You say you wish you had who?
I have no problem doing that whatsoever.
Okay, gotcha.
I was trying to just make sure we keep whatever y'all said we're going to operate the way we're going to operate.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mr. Clerk, are you?
I'm reading through the minutes from the last meeting right now.
Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Jackson, for the sake of time, you can probably move beyond that and go to the next presenter.
Okay.
Because we've already got the content of what we want to present to the board anyway, and we can hash that out later.
Okay, great. Okay. Well, let's so I guess at our next work session, we'll anticipate having that, and y'all maybe even want to wrap what we discussed, that previous motion, up into that infection control policy.
I'd like to keep that one. I'd like to keep that one separate because we're dealing with other agencies.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so we can't direct them to do anything. We can ask for it, but we can't direct them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Next.
So that brings up the rental assistance update.
Okay.
Is the next topic on your agenda, Mr. Clerk and Commissioner Jackson.
All right.
Ms. Barnett, you want to give us an update, please?
Good afternoon. Things are going well with the rental assistance. As everybody knows, we have went through our direct appropriation of the ERAP 1 and ERAP 2. We have currently spent $4 million of the $8 million of ERAP 1 dollars that we've received from the state. They continue to do monitoring reviews and draws to the parish so that we can continue our program. That's going well. It's just, and we continue to make payments every Friday. We currently have 6,995 applications. We have 23 that were drawn this morning because that's all we had that wasn't drawn. Usually we were doing 300 to 500 draws every Wednesday. Now we're just drawing active files every week that we have. We don't have a big pipeline loaded, if that's will. So the wait is minimal for anybody that's a new applicant. But everything's going as planned.
Okay. Hey, Ms. Barnett.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned we just dispersed $4.5 million out of the money we just received from the state.
Yeah, so we didn't receive, as I explained on the last call, we don't receive all the money at once from the state. We're receiving it in draws based on our batches.
Okay.
But since we started receiving that money, we have spent 4 million of it.
Oh, okay.
4.5 million of it. And they're sending us money every week for us to continue to pay out. So we're already halfway through our ERAP 1 allocation from the state.
Okay.
I was told that, and they were going to get back with me, but of course Ida has hit. So a lot of them are without electricity. And so our communication has kind of slowed. But our last conversation on Friday before the hurricane hit was that they were having a meeting and they would potentially allocate more funds to Caddo Parish. That is ERAP 1 that was allocated for the entire state because of the need that we have in our community. So we're still working towards making sure all of the citizens in Caddo Parish are helped as needed.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your update. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Wilson.
Yes, sir.
I heard Mrs. Barnett say that I guess the question is to Ms. Barnett. I heard you say that there's 695 applications. Is that applications from recent or is that total? Is that just in total?
It's 6,995, and that's total applications since the inception of the program.
Okay. Okay.
All of those applications have been touched. There's nobody waiting at this moment.
Okay. And so, I'm sorry, go ahead, Dr. Wilson.
No, that's good. I was commenting on the fact that we have very few people in a waiting line, like 23.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess anybody can come in and get the immediate service.
Okay.
Pending their qualifications being met.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. And let's just keep, moving in the right direction, moving in the positive direction with it. As I said, I think in our last meeting, my calls have basically gone to zero. I get one here or there, but I've basically gone to zero, getting zero calls on it. So do you want to move on to eviction mitigation and where we are?
Oh, okay.
I think I might be the only one on the call.
Go ahead, Haley, if you want to take that question.
I know that the attorney's office has one attorney working the program because I've gotten a couple inquiries from that attorney to verify participation in the program for people that need the help. So the program is.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Donna did provide an update on that, on the eviction and mitigation and where we are on that particular program. She's notified us that they've contracted.
Why doesn't Donna ever come on this call?
Well, Henry's on the call.
I know, but Donna never signs in to this call.
Well, we have the attorney, the assistant attorney represented. But we do have. She said that there's 3 attorneys that are contracted to provide assistance. Contact information is provided for each one of those attorneys. So originally we had one, we now have three. The parish attorney's office sent out through the Bar Association contact information to over 600 attorneys that are in
Association.
and only the ones that we have been able to sign up are the ones that responded. So we did reach out to a lot of attorneys, but so far we only been able to get 3 signed up on the program. The attorneys verify the applicant's participation in our ERAP program. This eviction and mitigation assistance is for applicants that are in our ERAP program. The attorneys work to work for the cases is at a set fee, and they submit an invoice to us for payment. So we have more attorneys. We are marketing the program through Facebook, through our website, through various means. This program, since it's not necessarily for everyone needing eviction assistance, we have a more targeted approach to try to reach those applicants that we are assisting. Now, we have noticed that the communications from our applicants, and it's probably because we are paying out pretty consistently right now, we have not had a lot of calls from those individuals. However, we do know some instances, we've been made aware of an instance, not a lot, where maybe we have paid a landlord and a landlord is still trying to evict those. And we've been made aware of that, and they are receiving some assistance to try to work through that.
Okay. Great. Well, that's very good to hear. I do want to note that Commissioner Gage, while she dropped off, but we're just having discussion here, so there's no action that needs to be taken.
Right. I'm sorry, I didn't realize my video was on.
Yeah,
That's okay.
and also Attorney Bernstein is online too, and he's been working closely with Don on this. But
Okay.
sometimes they divide and conquer when they have a lot of things going.
Okay.
That's why her presence is not here. We only thought we need one attorney to be able to deal with this one today.
Oh, okay. I just noticed she's never on these calls, not just today. But I do want to just say thanks. But I noticed, and I don't know if y'all got a chance to look at that, there was only one attorney that's listed online, and so
yeah, I think
I'm hearing that there are 3 attorneys, but only one is listed online.
We just signed up the
yeah, we just signed the
other 2,
documents
so
Friday.
Okay.
So we're updating that information.
Okay.
So it will get updated.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was some delayed on the other 2 attorneys completing the paperwork and everything, Commissioner Jackson. So we got that. I think we got that done, so we can move forward with it, updating that.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to be in this rental assistance space for a while.
Yeah.
And, I think that it sounds like the eviction mitigation is working as it should.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I want to say too, I think Ms. Haley has also written several letters to different people.
Okay.
To make sure that let them know that the folks were a participant in our program.
Okay.
And if they could spare any eviction process, that would be greatly appreciated.
Great. Well, I think we should thank our city court judges and our justice other people.
Yes.
For working and understanding that. I don't think that we're having. I want to appreciate administration and staff.
Yes, sir.
For participating in the NACO call on last week to discuss it, and maybe we will have an opportunity to talk nationally about our program and what we've put together here in Caddo Parish.
That's correct.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else on that?
No, sir. That's it for us.
Okay, Jeff, I see your hand there.
Yeah, I have 2 things. I wanted to make sure that you noticed Daryl Joy has joined back on the line in case you want to give her the floor for a minute. And also, I did want to confirm the language of the motion that was made in the last meeting.
Okay.
So if you want me to go ahead and do that, I'll do that first, or I can wait till afterwards, whatever you prefer.
I think Dr. Wilson indicated that they're good with just forwarding it to the body.
Yeah, and that is actually how it was made. The motion asks for them to coordinate with human resources. Actually, it authorizes parish administration and human resources to develop an interim or emergency infection control policy for parish employees to bring to the full body for consideration.
Okay. Well, I think Doc is good with that.
Yes, sir.
That sounds consistent with what they're doing.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. All right. Well, we'll anticipate having that on our next work session. Dr. Wilson, is that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. And we'll end with Ms. Darryl Joy Walters, who is here with Bring Back Louisiana. I had an opportunity to participate in a very good discussion that was organized by Representative Glover and LDH, I think Deputy Secretary, Mr. Mark Thomas, and Ms. Darryl Joy Walters, who helped coordinate that call. And I think it was an eye-opening call. A lot of people left the conversation thinking that the call was really probably about 3 to 4 months overdue, or should have been had a while back. So we'll turn it over to Ms. Darryl Joy Walters at this time to give us an update from the Bring Back Louisiana group.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you, Commissioner Jackson, for inviting me to speak today on behalf of Bring Back Louisiana. So essentially, our campaign, we have been intentional in providing education across the state, resources across the state to make sure that everyone not only has access to the vaccine, but that we are answering critical questions and concerns in the communities across the states. And so, for instance, in the Shreveport area, we have had Power Coalition and Together Louisiana canvassing every day, phone banking every day, having just that one-on-one conversation with the citizens in Shreveport, just to make sure that everyone is comfortable with what we are suggesting that they take. And I have been diligently working with the faith-based leaders in our area in Shreveport, as well as around the state, to ensure that they receive the proper grant funding for initiatives to push the vaccine, and to not only push taking the vaccine, but again, the critical component is pushing the education piece that goes along with that. And although that grant has closed out, we are still pressing forward again with the education and information piece. And last week, we also met with HBCU leaders across the state to address immediate concerns that they had. So again, thank you all for inviting me to the call. As you all know, it has been quite, I guess, a turn in our efforts and a shift in our efforts in regards to the campaign with the vaccine, because I am the North Louisiana pinpoint person, and everybody else is in South Louisiana and struggling with the loss of things and what have you in Hurricane Ida. So I am glad to be here, and moving forward, like I told Commissioner Jackson, I will actually be leaving Friday, will be my last day with Bring Back Louisiana. However, the efforts again will move forward, and I would like to give you all the website. So if anyone needs vaccination site information or what have you, I will offer that website, and it is ldh.la.gov, ldh.la.g. Efforts. Give me 1 second. I need to pull this email. Tammy.hall, HALL @la.gov. Tammy.hall@la.gov. And Dr. Hall can address concerns in any issues that you may be facing or questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Walters. If you could share, as you transition out, if you could share the person who will be taking your spot with Bring Back Louisiana. What we're going to start focusing on from this committee is how we're going to utilize the American Rescue Plan dollars that were set aside to coordinate. And so I think having a relationship and coordinating along with the Bring Back Louisiana team to make sure that we're working in concert and making sure we're bolstering each other's efforts will definitely be a great asset. Does anybody else have any questions for Mrs. Walters? I don't see any questions. So thank you, Darryl Joy. We appreciate you for joining the call. I know y'all have been busy trying to scramble and get things with the hurricane. So thank you for taking some time out to be with us today.
Absolutely. And again, Dr. Hall, she would be the best contact at LDH because again, she can refer in whatever direction it needs to go, and she'll make sure that that it gets done. Now, if it's a local immediate and a local immediate matter, then be sure to contact Dr. Martha White.
Okay. Well, appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Dr. White,
Thank you all.
but she's coordinating vaccines at the shelter as well. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you all. Have a good day.
All right. Mr. Clerk, do we have anything else to come before the committee? Jeff, if you're talking, you're on mute.
I was, thank you. Yeah, the only item we have that remains is the adjournment.
All right. Well, we do not have a quorum, so there's no need to consider a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn. I move that we adjourn.
And now, no,
Already
It's
done
correct.
already.
everybody got to stay in their own lane now, Doctor.
That's right.
Let's start coming making some hiring decisions. Or Ken might feel he want to come start making some hiring. Personnel. Let everybody stay in their own lane.
All right.
All right. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. Stay safe and
All
have a great day.
Y'all
Enjoy
take
your
care.
weekend.